Today's song is Fly Me to the Moon, written by Bart Howard, first released in 1954 by Kay Ballard, who did a version, and then later so many different versions were recorded and released, including Peggy Lee in 1960 on her album Pretty Eyes, and Frank Sinatra, who released it in 1964 most famously. And then the song was actually associated with the moon landings. It was taken up in the spaceships for Apollo 10 and Apollo 11. Apollo 10, when they circled the moon, they played the song. In Apollo 11 mission, they played it just before they landed on the moon. So some amazing history behind this song, and I'm sure the songwriter would never have imagined it would have been that way. He was working for over 20 years on trying to be a successful songwriter. He was performing cabaret to make money, but eventually the publisher said to him, you need to tone your lyrics down. They're very complex. So he did this. He said, it took me over 20 years to write a song in just 20 minutes because he really simplified the lyrics, wrote this song, and Fly Me to the Moon was born. So let me know what you think of this beautiful classic song and what your favourite version is.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true.